Welcome to Making a Murder, Rubberducky YouTube channel. Thank you all for coming back today, and I'm very excited. We have a new special, a premiere coming out tonight, and it's about DNA, and it's called How DNA Works, and it's been brought to you by Dr. Silkman, RD researcher. And I think that's about 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time, U.S. time, but check your listing just in case. Thank you for joining us on Part 10 today for the CASO Investigative Reports, 91 through 100 pages. And this will wrap up this second week of our daily MaM reading. Welcome back, everybody, and we're going to back up to page 90. This is an interview with Bobby A. Dassey, 110505, Investigator John Dietering, and we'll scroll back down. We'll go ahead and start right in here. And here we go. Bobby stated that he left for deer bow hunting at approximately 1445 to 1500 hours. He stated that the teal vehicle was still there when he left. He stated he arrived home at dark or shortly thereafter. Page 91. He did estimate the time at 1645 hours. He stated that when he arrived home, the blue or teal-colored SUV was gone. Bobby was asked to describe the female who he saw walking towards Steve's porch. He described her as being skinny with brownish hair and wearing a dark-colored waist-length coat. He indicated he did not know if she was wearing glasses and did not know what kind of trousers she was wearing. Bobby indicated when he came out of his residence to go to his truck, he did not see the lady. Bobby stated it was his understanding that the lady had been to the Avery property 4 or 5 different times in the past 12 months to photograph units that Steve wished to sell in the Auto Trader magazine. Bobby indicated he was never in the teal or blue colored SUV and had never touched the vehicle. Bobby stated that his vantage point of the vehicle and the young lady was from his mother's mobile home, which he estimated to be approximately 60 yards away from where the van is parked. Bobby indicated that Monday, 10/31/05, was the first time he had seen the female photographer. Bobby indicated that as he was traveling on State Highway 147 towards the property he hunts deer on, he did observe an individual known to him as Scott Tadage. Bobby indicated that Scott would be able to verify precisely what time he had seen Bobby. Bobby stated that no one was in the vehicle with him. Bobby was asked once again whether his prints would be in or on the RAV4. Indicated no way at all. Bobby Dassey indicated that he believed Steven Avery was at home alone during the time the photographer was in the vicinity. Bobby indicated he was unsure who might have been at the Avery Auto Salvage shop. Bobby denied having any sort of contact with the lady. I advised him that we had learned that Steven indicated Bobby had seen this young lady after Steven had. He indicated that there was no way I was hunting. I asked Bobby if he would be interested in pursuing some sort of truth verification to show me that he was in fact being truthful, and his response was yes. I asked him what he thought the results of the examination would show, and he indicated, I'm telling the truth. Page 92. I asked Mr. Dassey why Steven Avery would say that Bobby was the last one to see the photographer. Bobby responded, did he say that? I then asked Bobby if it was true, and his response was no. I asked Bobby why Steven would say something like this, and Bobby's response was, he'd stab you in the back. Bobby indicated that Steven had done this to him before over little stuff. Bobby Dassey did indicate that he was concerned for an 8-week-old Labrador puppy, which he stated was in his mother's residence. He very respectfully asked Detective Jacobs and me if there was any way possible he could retrieve the Labrador. I advised Mr. Dassey that I would think about this, and we ultimately made the decision to go into the Bar Beyond residence with Bobby's permission to retrieve the dog. He indicated that we would find the doors to the residence unlocked. At 18:31 hours, Detective Jacobs and I did retrieve a black Labrador puppy from the far west bedroom, and we left the residence at 18:34 hours. At 18:44 hours, the Labrador puppy was turned over to Bobby Dassey, and Bobby Dassey did provide us with a written statement at that time. Bobby Dassey did dictate the following one-page written statement to me. On Monday, 10/31/05, at about 2:30 p.m., I got up to go deer hunting. I took a shower. I got dressed for bow hunting and noticed someone coming down the driveway. She stopped in front of my mom's maroon van that Steve is trying to sell for my mom. I watched her take pictures of the van. She got done with that and started to walk towards Steven's house. I grabbed my bow, got into my blazer, and left. I didn't see the lady who took the pictures when I left. The SUV, a teal-colored, possibly a Honda, was there when I left to go hunting. She had shoulder-length brown hair. It looked darker to me. She was wearing a dark waist-length jacket. She was skinny. About 3 or 4 minutes went by between the time I got my jacket and the time I got into my truck. I dictated this statement to Investigator Dienering. I have read this statement and initialed all corrections. This statement is true and accurate. No promises or threats have been made to get this statement. This statement was signed by Bobby Dassey in my presence as well as the presence of Detective Jacobs at 7:01 p.m. My contact with Bobby Dassey ended at 19:02 hours. Investigation continues. Page 93. John Dietering, Investigator, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 94. Type of activity, cursory search of 12928 Avery Road, Charles E. Avery's residence. Date of activity, 11:05:05. Reporting Officer, Investigator Gary Stryer. On Saturday, 11:05:05 at approximately 6:30 p.m., I, Investigator Stryer, along with Sergeant Bill Tyson of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department, were informed by Lieutenant Link of the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department to check outbuildings in a trailer located on the east side of the Avery salvage yard. At 6:41 p.m., Investigator Gary Stryer, along with Sergeant Bill Tyson, did forcibly enter the locked residence of 12928 Avery Road, attempting to locate and check the welfare of Teresa Halbach. The deputies searched the residence for Teresa Halbach and exited the residence at 6:51 p.m. There was no house number located outside the trailer, and the trailer appeared to be uninhabited. Investigator Gary Stryer, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 95. Type of activity, supplemental report. Date of activity, 11:05:05. Reporting Officer, Sergeant Bill Tyson. On Saturday, 11:05:05, I, Sergeant Bill Tyson of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department, was speaking with Investigator Mark Wiegert at the command post on the Avery property. Investigator Wiegert requested that I go with Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department Detective Dave Remaker, Lieutenant James Link, and Sergeant Colburn to Steve Avery's residence to execute the search warrant. Investigator Wiegert requested that I take notes and confiscate all evidence from Detective Remaker, Lieutenant Link, and Sergeant Colburn. Upon arriving at the residence, I did note that the residence did have a house number of 12932. We made unforced entry to Stephen Avery's residence through the front door at 9:30 hours. Upon making entrance, Sergeant Colburn and Detective Remaker began photographing the inside of Stephen Avery's residence. After the photography was completed, Detective Remaker, Sergeant Colburn, and Lieutenant Link stated they would begin the search at the south bedroom of the residence. Upon entering the south bedroom at 19:44 hours, Detective Remaker stated he would search the closet and bedroom dresser, and Lieutenant Link stated he would assist Detective Remaker. Sergeant Colburn concentrated his search of the desk and the nightstand, which was located next to the desk. At 1947 hours, Sergeant Colburn indicated he did locate a pair of leg irons and a pair of handcuffs, which were located in the nightstand next to the desk. Sergeant Colburn also located a set of keys that had a 2003 keychain. Sergeant Colburn then showed me a prescription medication bottle that was prescribed to Steven Avery. The medication was Atenol 5 milligram tablets. The medication bottle was located on top of the desk in the bedroom. While searching the desk, Sergeant Colburn located numerous magazines and catalogs, all addressed to Steven Avery. At 1952 hours, Sergeant Colburn showed me a Mills Supply catalog, a Skylark GS book, an American Ingenuity magazine, Cook's Saw and Machine magazine, a 1988 A&M software booklet, and a September 1992 Playboy magazine, all addressed to Steven Avery. Sergeant Colburn also located several identifiers in the desk addressed to Jody M. Stachowski. At 2004 hours, Sergeant Colburn showed me a bill of sale for Auto Trader magazine, which he found on top of the desk in the bedroom. Page 96. At 20:04 hours, Sergeant Colburn also showed me a broken cell phone he found in the top right drawer of the desk. When Lieutenant Link had finished assisting Detective Remaker in searching the closet and dresser, he informed me he would be checking the bathroom, which was located directly next to the bedroom. I stood at the entranceway of the bathroom, looking into the bedroom so I could see if Lieutenant Link had located any evidence in the bathroom. While I was standing there, I did turn and face an entrance-exit door to the residence, which was located directly across from the bathroom. The door was brown in color, and upon looking at the door, I could see several small spots on the door that appeared to be reddish-brown in color. I notified Detective Remaker and Sergeant Colburn on this information, and they informed me that they were just finishing up in the bedroom and wished to collect the bedding off the south bedroom, Steven Avery's bed. Lieutenant Link, Detective Remaker, and Sergeant Colburn did collect the bedding off of Steven Avery's bed, did place the bedding into bags at 2016 hours. At 20:30 hours, Detective Remaker looked at the door that had the reddish-brown spots on it. At 20:30 hours, Detective Remaker did photograph the door with his digital camera. At 20:32 hours, Sergeant Colburn used his evidence camera to also photograph the door. At 20:35 hours, Detective Remaker did swab 2 of the possible stains. At 20:38 hours, Detective Remaker did a control swab on the exit entrance door in the vicinity of the possible bloodstains. At 20:41 hours, Sergeant Colburn noticed a possible bloodstain on the linoleum bathroom floor. Sergeant Colburn did photograph the stain to scale without scale at 20:41 hours. At 20:43 hours, Detective Remaker collected that possible stain. At 20:44 hours, Detective Remaker did a control swab in the vicinity of the stain on the bathroom floor. At 20:48 hours, Sergeant Colburn re-entered Steven Avery's bedroom to retrieve previously bagged items of evidence when he noticed a roll of duct tape on the top of the dresser in Steven Avery's bedroom. Sergeant Colburn did collect that piece of evidence at 20:48 hours. At 20:52 hours, Sergeant Colburn and Lieutenant Link began searching the other bedroom located in the residence, which was located between the living room and the bathroom. Detective Remaker informed me he wished to use a lint roller on the carpet in Steve Avery's bedroom. I did watch as Detective Remaker rolled a lint roller across the carpet floor next to the bed. Page 97. I then noticed a dark-colored stain on the molding that went around the entrance-exit door directly across from the bathroom. I directed Detective Remaker's attention to that stain, and Sergeant Colburn did photograph the stain. At 21:09 hours, Sergeant Colburn also photographed some scratches on the wood paneling. Those scratches would have been located between Steven Avery's bedroom and the entrance-exit door located directly across from the bathroom. At 21:12 hours, Detective Remaker swabbed the dark-colored stain that was located on the molding of the door across from the bathroom. At 21:14 hours, Detective Remaker did a control swab in the vicinity of the dark-colored stain on the wooden molding. At 21:17 hours, Sergeant Colburn was in the bedroom that was located between the living room and the bathroom. Sergeant Colburn had removed a vacuum cleaner bag and a filter from the vacuum that was sitting on the floor in the bedroom. At 21:19 hours, Sergeant Colburn located 2 rolls of duct tape, which were sitting on top of the dresser in the bedroom. Sergeant Colburn did collect both rolls of duct tape. One roll was still in its original wrapper, and the other roll was partially used and appeared to be freshly torn. Sergeant Colburn, Detective Remaker, and Sergeant Link then moved their search into the living room area. At 21:25 hours, Sergeant Colburn removed a pillow from the couch and stated there was a spot on the pillow. Sergeant Colburn then collected a mauve-colored, green-colored fiber that was sitting on the carpet floor directly in front of the living room couch. That item was collected at 21:27 hours. Sergeant Colburn and Lieutenant Link then left to search the kitchen and dining area, and Detective Remaker began searching the computer desk, which was located in the living room. At 21:29 hours, Detective Remaker drew my attention to some photos he found on top of the computer desk. Upon looking at the photos, it appeared these photos were taken from a digital camera and then printed off the computer printer. The pictures were pornographic in nature and included a photo dated 10/10/05, and that picture was of an uncircumcised erect penis. There were other numerous photos showing a female bearing her breast and other photos of a close-up view of a female's vaginal area. At 20:31 hours, Detective Remaker located a small notebook. When he began paging through the notebook, he found on the second piece of paper a cell phone number of page 98, 737-4731. We immediately recognized that phone number to be that of Teresa Halbach. On that same piece of paper were the words, "Back to patio door." That notebook was seized at 21:36 hours. At 21:39 hours, Detective Remaker located an identifier, which was an envelope with the name Steven Avery and the address of 12932 Avery Road, 2 Rivers, Wisconsin, 54241. That item was seized as evidence. At 21:41 hours, Detective Remaker located an Auto Trader magazine, which was also found on the computer desk in the living room. The item was also seized as evidence. Inside the computer desk, Detective Remaker found a for sale sign. On the back side of that for sale sign had the telephone number 737-4731. Underneath the cell phone number was the address of 3302 Sander Road. At 21:52 hours, Detective Remaker found a single key that was sitting on a portable cabinet in the living room. Detective Remaker did photograph the key and did confiscate the key as evidence at 21:52 hours. At 21:57 hours, Sergeant Colburn noticed what appeared to him to be a possible blood stain on the inside of the front door. Sergeant Colburn did photograph the stain, and Detective Remaker did swab the stain at 21:59 hours. At 22:01 hours, Detective Remaker did a control swab in the vicinity of that stain on the front door. Lieutenant Link was in charge of documenting each bag of evidence that had been collected. Those bags were assigned an item number, and the evidence document showing those items with their number will be attached to this report. All items of evidence were placed into the vehicle of Detective Rummaker, and we did leave the Steven Avery residence at 22:05 hours. Upon arriving back at the command post, I did remove the items of evidence and place them into my squad car. Those items were then taken back to the Calumet County Sheriff's Department and secured in the evidence room. Sergeant Bill Tyson, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 99. Type of activity, contact with Jason Zipper. Date of activity, 11/05/05. Reporting officer, investigator John Dietering. Documents generated, none. On Saturday, 11/05/05 at 20:04 hours, Detective Jacobs and I, Dietering, did make contact with Jason Zipper, previously mentioned in this report at his residence of 4433 County Highway B, Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Prior to asking Mr. Zipper any questions, I did advise him that he was free to leave and ask him to check the door to ensure he realized that the door was unlocked. I advised him that he did not have to speak with me if he chose not to, could choose to terminate the interview at any time he wished. He indicated he understood this and wished to speak with me. I asked Jason if he or anyone in his family knows the Averys. He stated he does not personally know the Averys and further does not know where the salvage operation is located. He stated that his father does not know the Avery family, and the Zipper family does not do business with the Avery family. I asked Jason as to where his father was on Monday, 10/31/05. Jason indicated that his father might have been doing a big roof job off 8th Street in downtown Manitowoc. Bobby indicated that he was 90% sure of this, as his father had been working on this particular job for approximately 2 weeks. I terminated my contact with Jason Zipper at 20:27 hours. Investigation continues. John Dietering, investigator, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 100. Type of activity, supplemental report. Date of activity, 11/06/05. Reporting officer, Lieutenant Kelly Sipple. On Sunday, 11/06/05, we utilized officers and firemen to pop the trunks of the vehicles located in the salvage yard along with the hoods and attempt to locate Teresa Halbach. This process proceeded pretty much through the whole day on Sunday. Lieutenant Kelly Sipple, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and start a review here. This read wasn't the cliffhanger at the end of the week or anything, and there's not a lot to go over in this little 10 pages. Now, as we go forward next week, we're getting into evidence collection, and it gets busy. So let's go ahead and enjoy this a little bit to understand what has taken place here. So on page 91, I thought it was interesting to make a note of this, that Bobby is stating that the 31st is the first time he's ever seen the female photographer. And then Bobby indicated that he was traveling south on Highway 147 towards the property he hunts on, which we know is near the Scott Tadich property. And he observed an individual known as Scott Tadich, and that this is his alibi. Problem is, Scott's alibi is no good. He was not in Green Bay, and he was actually, we have an eyewitness, according to Miss Zellner, that Scott Tadich's truck at around noon was over at the Dassey residence. So now if Scott isn't honest about his alibi and he has no alibi, it now knocks Bobby's alibi right out the window. Right out the window. And then we're going to scroll down to page 92. As they retrieve this Labrador puppy from the Dassey residence, they bring it back to Bobby, and then we get a written statement. So I find that interesting that we don't get a written statement and then, oh, I went and got the puppy. It's almost like he says, I'm not telling you nothing till I get that puppy. So I don't know. I could be, reaching at straws. But he does say that the SUV, a teal color, possibly a Honda, was there when he left to go hunting. He explains she had shoulder-length brown hair, looked darker, and was wearing a dark length leather or a dark waist length jacket. He does talk about the 3 or 4 minutes went by. He grabbed his jacket and then he got into his truck. So nothing on 93 or 94 really to call out. But on page 94, I think it's interesting. We've already heard in a previous report that it was a forced entry into Steven Avery's residence. So, of course, it's not forced anymore because I'm sure the door doesn't even shut properly, because I believe it was Remaker that kicked it in with 3 swift kicks or something. And so this is really big, though. Well, everybody's busy, and one guy is trying to keep up with 3 people. So we have Sergeant Colburn, quote-unquote, concentrating his search of the desk and the nightstand, which was located next to the desk. And this individual, Tyson, he is not in the room with them, so he can't possibly be keeping track of 3 individuals all doing something different and watching where their hands go. Plus, he's dealing with other police officers and isn't really expecting them to be nefarious or act in bad faith. So who knows what Colburn was doing while he was concentrating on this nightstand, where we later have the key be produced. And who finds it then? Colburn shakes that cabinet. All right, you guys, just a little note for the record here. September 1992, Steven Avery would not have been out. He would have been in prison. So how in the world did he get this with his name on it unless somebody was ordering it in his name, which is possible. And then 96, we've got this little part. Again, it's Colburn, and he's back at work in that bedroom where we later find the key. And my question is, when he went back to get these items, was he accompanied, or was he just trusted to go get that evidence? And at that point, right there is where I personally wonder, did he put that key inside that cabinet? And then on page 97, it shows that the vacuum cleaner bag was removed and that the filter from the vacuum was set on the floor in the bedroom. So I'm sure they went through everything, and not to come up with DNA as hard as they were searching. They took the panelings eventually out of this room and pulled the carpet up. If there was DNA in this bedroom of a murder, it would have been here. And on page 98, we have Detective Remaker locating the for sale sign. Now, this has always been kind of a stickler for me, mainly because I want to know where this fits into this whole case. Underneath the cell phone number, which was Teresa's, was the address 3302 Xander Road. Now, for me personally, when you're taking pictures all day long at different residences, you might write down the address where you actually do the picture. And that could be that this was laying in her car and she just ran out of them. That was already written on it, so she handed it over to Steven. Who knows, but there's the address. And there's a lot of information coming up about that address later in other videos that we do. Whole video in itself on 3302 Xander Road. And then we make note here that 21:52 hours, Detective Remaker found a single key that was sitting on a portable cabinet. And he takes that and puts that in evidence. Question is that a Toyota key that happened to be just a random valet key to a different Toyota that's on that property? We have no lack of vehicles in this case. And then Lieutenant Link is in charge of documenting each bag of evidence that has been collected. How convenient. And then they are giving to Detective Remaker. Now, Lieutenant Link and Detective Remaker and Sergeant Colburn all work for Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department, and they all got done, Link and Colburn did, doing depositions for $36 million law case in a civil suit where Steven Avery, this gentleman that they're in this home, the suspect that later gets sent to prison for another 14 years on top of 18 years of being wrongfully convicted. He's the one suing the county. So if your company that you work for is being sued by an individual, this automatically puts you in a state of conflict of interest. No matter what you do, even if you're behaving just as proper as could be, you still need to recuse yourself. Otherwise, you're going to draw a suspicious eye your way, and it's your own fault. You made that choice. You took the risk. So, all right, guys, let's see here. 99, I noted they're doing an interview here with Jason Zipper. It's John Dietering, and this is how sloppy the paperwork is. He refers to him after writing Jason here right above it, and Jason here right above it, and Jason here, and Jason here. He calls him Bobby. Yeah. Wow. And then that's about it. They jump into the search into the yard after that. And next week we are going to be digging into the evidence, and that should be very interesting. I can't wait to start next week with you. This has become a thing that I really look forward to. I enjoy very much getting to share this with other people that are armchair sleuths, and they're doing the same thing I am and wanting to get to the bottom of this. And I think the means that they did this investigation under, it seems to be going pretty smooth right now, but holy cow, just wait. It goes absolutely crazy as we get into when Manitowoc County starts doing their thing. All right, guys, thank you so much for that, and I hope you join us next week. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the last read of this week, part 10. I do hope you'll join us for part 11 through 15 next week. Now, tonight we do have a premiere coming out, and that is entitled How DNA Works by Dr. Sookman, one of our RD researchers. And you guys, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting Stephen and Brendan as they are wrongfully convicted. And I believe that keeping them in the spotlight and doing the public awareness every day keeps them safe as the world watches. And with that, you guys, I believe it's time. If you didn't do the crime, you shouldn't do the time. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.